Hello everybody, welcome to CadoinkStudios. I am Cadoink and I am here with Boisterous, doing some more co-casts. Boisterous, would you introduce our players for today?
Most definitely. Spawning up here in the top right-hand corner, we have mouzThorZain, the blue Terran. And down here in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent, FXOLeenock, the red Zerg. Now, of course, I do not actually know the origin of Leenock's name, but I'm just guessing that it's not Native American. So sadly, we don't have any complicated Native American phrases. Which, if you want to hear that entire story, just go to the just go to my video on my channel, and you should definitely watch it. It's the other co-cast me and Cadoink did today. Don't worry about it. It's a throwback to something that we just talked about. It's okay.
Yeah.
Just go watch it.
It was a very cool game, so you guys should see that. Although, what is cool about Leenock is he is 16 years old, which is ridiculous to be that good at that young of an age. At 16 years old, I stopped building SCVs, like, after about 10. I just stopped. I'd be like, let's do this, go straight to Battle Cruiser, Ghost Nuke, and I'd just be killed by, like, a 6-pool. It was very sad.
How did that not work for you?
I don't know, man.
And Battlecruiser Ghost Nuke sounds like such a good strategy.
It was the best strategy in your BGH or your fastest possible scenario. If any of you guys get that Brood War reference, bam! I didn't even plan that. I really did not.
Just walked right into it.
Yeah.
Alright.
We do have normal things coming out for ThorZain. He's getting his barracks up. I think it's interesting he's not building it with his supply depot to complete that wall. However, he probably scouted no 6-pool. Actually, no, he doesn't have a scout in the base. So yeah, I guess he's just opting to put it there instead of at his choke.
I think he just knows that it's Leenock, so he's just guessing that it'll be no 6-pool, and Leenock is actually going for a fast hatch. Looks like a 15 hatch, probably.
Yeah.
And the drone is still just wandering around in the main base. The Marine is about to pop out, so it should probably back out soon.
Yeah, I agree. It should run away. Try and scout out as much as it can, see if it can see a second gas being thrown down or an expansion. Of course, neither are on the way. I don't know what exactly ThorZain is going to do. He is floating quite a bit of minerals, so I suspect he's going to throw down an expansion. In fact, he even has his Marine scouting the back of this natural to make sure that the drone wasn't hiding there. And yes, we do see the command center going down in his own base. This is something that's really interesting. I feel like a lot of the pro players are kind of straying away from building the command center in the base. I feel like they feel more comfortable protecting a lot of early attacks, and so they just go ahead and build it in the natural. But I think ThorZain is just making sure he stays a little bit safer, especially considering he got that that gas as early as he did. No idea why that came out.
Well done, Cadoink.
Yeah.
And anyway, as far as the command center and the main base thing goes, I think most pros are kind of straying away from that strategy, because if you can't defend a command center on your natural, like if you can't defend it while it's building, then how are you going to defend it while it's there?
Right.
And it doesn't do a whole lot of good for you in your main base, because Terran is not a mineral striving race. Or at least I've never seen them as that. Like, usually you want that gas for siege tanks because of the way that mules work, and mules just get you a ton of minerals. And it actually looks like he might be going for a third command center, maybe a macro OC.
Yeah, I would say it's going to be macro orbital. He's also getting that double Hellion. This might be part of the reason he opted to leave that in his main, is because if you're going to be going for a very, very fast command center, it's going to be even harder to push off those very early attacks. As you see, his money's really low. He can barely afford a bunker right now, and he also only has like 1 or 2 Marines and 2 Hellions, which are going to pop out in the next few seconds.
Yeah, and he does drop that mule before lifting his orbital command and moving it to his natural. So he's going to be going for more money, I guess. And that's going to be happening in the future.
Yeah.
mouzThorZain is also going for a second factory, so we might see some mech play, maybe?
Yeah, I'm suspecting mech. I think it's interesting considering he didn't get his second gas yet. However, he could just be going for like a double Hellion, or like a 3-time Hellion sort of play. I did see Marine King once go for double factory, double reactor, 4 Hellions at once play, which was very cool.
I actually once saw MKP go for 3 factories with 3 reactors against White Raw.
Against White Raw? Wow.
Yeah. Did you not see that the last MLG? Not this one, but the one before it?
No, the one before it I did
Insane.
miss. He is going to be putting a tech lab onto that, so we'll see if he gets that blue flame up. I'd like to see that. Some Hellions trying to defend this little Zergling attack. A lot of Hellions, so they should be able to pick it off. However, the Zerglings get into the base for ThorZain, so they are going to see that other factory. They are going to see the double gas. And actually, he is going for siege mode, which is interesting. And Leenock is also going to be reinforcing with a lot of Zerglings. This might do some damage to ThorZain, because even though... Oh no, he is pulling back. Never mind. Forget that point.
Yeah, actually, I don't think it would have been smart for Leenock to go in. This was a lot of Hellions, and even if he did do some damage with the Zerglings, he would have lost all of them, or almost all of them. Plus, the fact is that I doubt ThorZain would blunder like that again, where he forgot to put up his supply depots.
Yeah.
So he would only really be, oh god, the Zerglings are coming in.
Yep.
Oh, there we go, ThorZain.
Nice.
Getting it done, and that supply depot up. However, it looks like he's going to lose a couple mules here, and that's quite annoying. Of course, the Hellions are swinging in and saving the day, along with the siege tank.
Yeah, one mule died, and then two of them have not been mining, so that is 3 mules essentially wasted. And I just hit 850 just to make sure we are in about the same time. And first tank coming out for ThorZain. Looks like we are going to have mech play as a armory is coming down, as an armory is coming down for ThorZain.
Yeah, this is most certainly going to be mech. The question is he going to be going for that blue flame upgrade? It looks like he's going for a second factory with a tech lab, it would appear, because he's building a tech lab on that bunker, or barracks, excuse me. And I still don't know why he hasn't gotten blue flame. Blue flame is a really good upgrade, especially against Zerg.
Yeah, I would say part of the reason is that he doesn't have that much money, and he doesn't have that much gas. He did just get his first Thor, or he's getting his first Thor, and he's also getting +1 weapons vehicle weapons, excuse me. So he doesn't really have that much. It's going to be expensive to support Thor's upgrades and blue flame. So he might be waiting until he has a little bit of a better economy before he starts that.
Yeah, I guess I understand. That makes perfect sense. And these Hellions are going to be swooping in, trying to get a bit of map control. But the issue is that this creep has already spread quite a ways. Plus the fact that roaches are active makes it pretty difficult for our Zerg player to actually get stopped as far as spreading creep goes.
Yeah, we do see Leenock getting his Spire up, as well as having a third. All his gas is down, so that is good. He will be able to support the mutas. However, it looks like ThorZain's going to have a bit of a lead on him, as his first Thor is done and his second one is on the way. So the Hellions, the mutas aren't going to do that much. He even has turrets in his main and his natural. So yeah, I don't foresee the mutas doing that much damage. I kind of prefer the roaches, actually. I feel like that might be able to do more damage, especially if he can catch ThorZain off guard with some positioning.
Yeah, I think after getting this Overseer up and through, I would be surprised to see the Spire even go through to completion. Like, I would not at all be amazed if Leenock just canceled his Spire, which it would appear that he's actually opting not to do. Now, of course, I'd be even more surprised if he went for heavy Mutalisks at this point in the game, and he's actually going for really heavy drones, just getting 20.
Yeah, quite a bit of drones.
On the drones.
We do see that...
And they're all rallied up to the 4th.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, I do see that.
Yeah.
And we do see Blue Flame has just been started, actually 30 seconds on that, so we will get that up. I do think he was waiting to support that, and he's getting his third. I think this is a good choice, even opting to put a Thor there to make sure there's no Muta harassment coming in. However, only 6 Mutas on the way, and 1 Thor should be able to handle that, especially with SCVs to repair. Ooh!
Yeah. Ooh.
Did you see all these drones go down?
No, I did not.
In the 4th, all the drones that were rallied.
Yeah, no. I went over there to see the flaming corpses, though. How many drones did he lose there? 13, which actually is not as much as I thought.
Yeah, it looked like a lot more, but still, that's pretty painful. As you know, his 4th could have been very well saturated right now, but it only has 4 drones there. A few more coming in.
Yeah, it's gonna need to wait another like 30 seconds.
Yep. So very nice play by ThorZain, keeping active with his Hellions. But look at this creep spread from Leenock. Very impressive, having the entire middle section of the map. Even going to be starting to get into ThorZain's territory here pretty soon.
Yeah, he has pretty ridiculous creep spread, like any other pro Zerg. Basically all of the territories they spreading creep into have multiple creep tumors, 4, 5-ish, just spreading creep in there, and yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
nasty.
I love this play by ThorZain. When you go mech, you actually end up with quite a bit of minerals. So he's putting down a lot of turrets, putting down a lot of supply depots, kind of making walls at his third, putting down another command center, just being very active at keeping his structures in very good places to prevent Zergling run-ins and muta harassment and this sort of thing. ThorZain's playing very solid in this game.
Yeah, he definitely is, and I don't know what Leenock's plan at this stage of the game is. He went for a very early hive, so he might be going for Broodlords, and he is indeed going for Broodlords with that Greater Spire coming out. And I think Broodlords is definitely the correct decision here, because Ultralists just are not good against mech. They kind of get destroyed pretty fast.
Yeah, it seems like Ultralists haven't been that great in general. The casters at MLG yesterday were commenting and joking about how all the pro Zerg players have this big pool of money, and they say if you can win a game with Ultralists, you get the pool of money. So yeah, I would be rather shocked to see Ultralists come out for Leenock, especially against this mech play.
Yeah, definitely. And it looks like the fit is coming out from Leenock. Leenock is just going insane with these expansions.
Yeah, keeping him very protected as well. Leenock. Wait a minute. Did you say Leenock or ThorZain?
I said Leenock.
ThorZain as well is also very active at keeping his expansions, continuing to build command centers. So both players playing very macro-oriented. We haven't seen any battles, really. Any major battles.
Yeah, I know. Which kind of just makes me excited for the battles that are going to take place very soon, with the 10 Corruptors finishing. Probably going to be morphing all of them into Broodlords. And yes, indeed, he is morphing in 10 Broodlords. That is a lot of Broodlords.
Yeah, that is quite a bit. However, ThorZain is a good player. He already has his starports out. He's getting the +1 attack for his Vikings. So he should hopefully be prepared for the Broodlords very soon. Some Roaches coming in to ThorZain's third right now, but looks like they're going to be picked off quite easily with these Thors. And I did just hit 1730 just to make sure we are continuing to be in sync.
Alright. And indeed, these Thors are kind of just, rocking and rolling through all these Roaches. And it looks like we have a little bit of a face-off with Hellions and Roaches happening at the bottom of the base. And the Roach finally dies to a Thor Blast. What a kill steal.
I know, right? Actually, there are 9 Thors on the field right now. And 4 Vikings as well. So hopefully they'll be able to hold these Broodlords, but there are 10 Broodlords, and that is quite a scary force. Hopefully if ThorZain can get a good position, especially by this planetary fortress, he should be able to hold it off. The Broodlords are coming in at this time. ThorZain trying to keep his units a little bit back to make sure... Well, I don't know why, actually. I feel like there isn't much in the way of protecting these Broodlords.
Yeah, this is even without much protecting them, this is still a pretty scary force of Broodlords. I mean, they're just ravaging through a lot of the Thors. An Infested Terrans did get dropped there, and ThorZain comes out pretty far ahead on that engagement.
He picked off all the Broodlords relatively easily. A lot of Vikings, and I did hit 1930. I feel like we might be a little bit behind, just to make sure we're good. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like Leenock just kind of threw everything away in that engagement.
Yeah, he kind of did, but when you're up on 5 bases as a Zerg, that's kind of something you can do. It's also the reason why he has a giant wall of crawl in the middle, is because just look at his minerals. He has 3,000. He has a lot of resources. Granted, he doesn't have nearly as much gas, but that's because he's pouring all of his gas into keeping this Broodlord army supplied.
Yeah. I do like how he is moving his Zerglings around trying to pick off ThorZain's bases. However, ThorZain is being so good about just preventing these sort of things. And putting down some more starports, probably going to be getting some more Vikings. He already has 2 with reactors. and then 2 more kind of outside of his nat. So yeah, a ton of Vikings coming out. 6 actually.
Yeah, this is kind of the stage of the game where I'm always waiting for Zerg to transition into some other major tech. Like at this point, he could transition into Ultralisks. Like that's always what I've wondered about like high level Zerg plays, why they never transition into Ultralisks. Because once you have a Broodlord force like this and your opponent has that many Vikings and you just baited out so many Vikings, just transition into Ultralisks and wipe him the hell out.
I don't get that either. I feel like Zerg is a race that is very structured to being able to build whatever units you want, because you only really need one tech structure for whatever units, and so you can switch very easily. The Broodlords are coming in right now. He's even using Queens to transfuse, which I think is very cool, but there are just a ton of Vikings for ThorZain, as well as quite a bit of Thors. A lot of the Corruptors are just crumbling to these Vikings, and then the Broodlords will fall shortly after that. In fact, Leenock having to pull back at this time.
Yeah, this is not looking good for Leenock. I don't think he'll be able to defend against this next push.
In fact, ThorZain isn't even bothering sieging his tanks. He's just going to move forward and crush Leenock's base. I feel like now he could siege his tanks up, which he is doing, to pick off these spine crawlers, effectively making the spine crawlers inert. And yeah, Leenock is looking like he's in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, he is transitioning to this kind of like Roach Zergling Corruptor, but I don't know if it's going to be effective enough at this point. He needs some sort of heavy-hitting ground unit, and the only really big one that Zerg has is Ultralisks.
Yeah, the only thing he has in his favor is the fact that ThorZain doesn't have a lot of Hellions. However, with 7 Thors, they can just pick off those Zerglings very, very quickly, which they did just do. Some Roaches coming in now, but they just got picked off as well. And yeah, ThorZain just doesn't have anything, even though he has like 2,500 minerals.
Yeah, Leenock is most certainly dead right now. I don't know how he plans on trying to pull this back.
Yeah.
That was very nicely played by ThorZain. He just picked a build and he macroed the hell out of it.
Oh yeah. I mean, he kept his minerals so low this entire game, especially considering how many bases he has. We do have some counterattacks going on for Leenock, sending some roaches into the base, but I mean, that's not going to do anything. I want to know how many command centers. Actually, he has 10 orbital commands. 8 orbital commands and 2 planetary fortresses. So even though these counterattacks are going on, he can really just spawn down a ton of mules and be fine. Yeah,
he's doing pretty well as far as economy goes. And with Leenock losing his 4th, he's down to 1-ish bases.
Yeah, really 1 mining base. Actually, his net has a little bit left in it, but even still, if you can't win, considering how many minerals you have, losing bases doesn't really make much of a difference, other than the fact that you can't produce any more larvae, and he's not doing any damage to ThorZain either. So at this point, it's kind of over.
Yeah, and these Vikings are finally dying, which just means that they're going to be replaced by more Thors and more siege tanks. So yeah, this is not looking like Leenock's going to have a bright future with his third going down.
We actually see some Banshees coming out for ThorZain, which I think is cool. Not like it really matters, but it's just going to be able to pick off these roaches without the roaches doing anything.
Yeah. I don't know why Leenock is staying in this game. I mean, he might be able to stop this push now, but it doesn't matter. It just literally does not matter. He does finally stop the push, but I mean, ThorZain is on 5 bases.
Yeah.
You know, 4 actual mining bases, and Leenock is on 0. He's long distance mining his 3rd.
He had a hatchery coming up, and he canceled it, and so.
Yeah, he has a hatchery going up at his like 4th or 5th position, and ThorZain would appear to be dropping some sort of odd advertisement.
Yeah, I think
that
has to do with the replay site. I don't really think it's him, because I tend to get this from some of the replays I get from this particular website. And they're...
Wait. replay sites can inject conversation into
I
a
think
game?
so, because I've seen that from players other than ThorZain.
God, I just found a new way to make people seem like they were BMing. Nobody do that.
Yeah,
No,
right.
nobody do that. Nobody be a bad person
It's
with
like,
that
yeah, look at all these
functionality.
things ThorZain said about Leenock, man. Like,
God,
yeah,
so
he's a
many
really
racial
BM player.
slurs. What is wrong with that man?
But we did have the caps lock GG go down for Leenock. I assume caps lock. I always assume that because it happens to me all the time. So,
Of course.
anyway, yeah, that was a very cool game. Thank you for watching. And Boisterous, where can we check out your awesome videos?
If you want to watch any other games I have commentated, you can watch them over at youtube.com/user/BoisterousSC2. And in fact, you should, because otherwise you wouldn't get that reference I made at the
Very
start of the
true.
game.
That is very true. That was a
Sam.
very excellent reference. And you can check out my videos at CadoinkStudios, just youtube.com/user/CadoinkStudios. You can type it into the search bar, do whatever you want. They should be able to pop up somewhere. So yeah, just keep watching the videos, enjoy them, comment, tell us what you'd like to see, and we'll make it happen, and we'll have more co-casts coming in the future. See you guys later.
Yep.